What supplements should you avoid when trying to conceive? Hi, I'm Dr. Samantha. I'm a naturopathic doctor that specializes in treating fertility the natural way, and today we're going to talk about supplements you should avoid when trying to conceive. I feel like this is a topic that isn't talked about a lot because we're always talking about supplements that we want on this journey, not a lot about the ones to watch out for. Before we get started though, I always like to talk about buying supplements and how to even purchase good supplements, right? There are so many out there. There are a bunch on Amazon. There are a bunch at Walmart, CVS, basically, I would say most stores have them nowadays. I highly recommend purchasing supplements from a very reliable source. I think the best way to get supplements is through a functional medicine practitioner, a naturopath, your doctor, whoever, because usually they have vetted the supplements and they're buying really good quality supplements for you, or they're prescribing really good supplements for you. I love platforms like FullScript. I actually will put my link down here. I do have my favorite preconception care supplements ready in there for you for 15% off as well. You can usually order a lot of supplements through that link. Some of them are ones that I actually do have to prescribe for you. And I think that's important to realize how much supplements really can impact the body. And if you're taking ones that aren't good for you, they can totally throw things off. We can have the opposite of the desired effect, right? Ultimately, I think buying them from places, maybe like Sprouts and Whole Foods, might be more ideal. Sometimes there are really good supplement shops that are kind of niche in everyone's own specific area that can be really great. Like I said, I'm always going to recommend time and time again, working with a practitioner to find the right supplements for you in your specific case. But today we're talking about what supplements you don't want. So don't worry, I promise I will get to that. Now, what makes a reliable source? So I know a lot of people like to go to the drugstores, but I honestly recommend not getting supplements from there. They're usually cheaper brands that, one, aren't third-party tested, nor do they have usually the right amount of dosing in those supplements. A lot of times you'll find them a lot cheaper, but that's because they don't have a lot of the good stuff in them, right? So I've talked about where to not buy supplements from, but okay, thanks a lot, Dr. Samantha, but where should we get them from? So to summarize everything I said in the beginning, we want to make sure that you get good quality supplements. Make sure you're buying from a good, reputable source. It's even better if the supplements are third-party tested and prescribed by a doctor for you. When you're picking up a supplement, it might be cheaper, but in reality, you might be wasting your money because if the dosing is not enough within that supplement, it's not going to be doing what it actually needs to do. Therefore, you're basically taking something that's not really doing much and wasting money. Sometimes buying the more expensive supplement does work out. Ultimately, there are supplements that are the best of the best, but they can be really, really, really pricey. And then there's supplements that I said are like super, super cheap. I like to find the supplements that are kind of in the middle. Those are usually the ones I prescribe for my patients as well, because at the end of the day, once they're a decent supplement, there's not that big of a difference between like the creme de la creme and like the medium range priced ones. So I definitely try to make it cost effective for everyone because you don't just take these once, right? You're taking them for many months sometimes. So we need to keep that in mind. Okay, but here's what you're really for, the supplements to actually avoid while trying to conceive. My first one is always, always, always going to be DHEA. I feel like that one is so overly prescribed, and I will not give it to my patients without pulling the DHEA lab first. And that's not to be confused with DHA or EPA, which are found in fish oils or omegas. DHEA is completely different from that. So that is one I do not recommend. That can really mess with your system. Why is that? If you take DHEA and you have low DHEA, it can be really helpful for hormonal balancing, egg quality, and so on. However, if you do not have low DHEA and you do take DHEA, it can cause major symptoms such as hair loss and acne and mood changes and honestly a few other things. But ultimately, that is a supplement that can really mess with your system and make things worse instead of better. So I highly recommend getting DHEA evaluated through lab work first, and then you can take it if you need it, but then we're also going to monitor it every 3 months with lab work to make sure it's not getting too high or to make sure that it's actually making a difference, right? A lot of practitioners will just blindly give about 75 milligrams of DHEA to a person. Usually it's taken in 25 milligram tablets, so one tablet 3 times a day. However, I even find that most people don't even need that much. And so I think we're just doing a lot of overprescribing of this specific supplement. Please, 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 if you want to take this supplement, please find someone to work with, get those labs done to make sure that you are not taking something that you do not need. The next supplement would be DIM. So DIM is one that I feel like has blown up the internet with, this is going to help you if you have elevated estrogen symptoms. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but elevated estrogen symptoms can also look similar to low estrogen symptoms. So with that being said, again, this is one that you absolutely need lab testing for, because if you're taking DIM and you actually have low estrogen, you can cause many other additional problems that you didn't have before, because you're taking a supplement that your body doesn't need, or you're taking a supplement that's causing the exact opposite effect of what your body actually needs. Be careful with DIM. It can be a standalone product, but I also feel like it's in a lot of products that support like PMS and just general hormone balancing supplements. And so you don't even know what's in there until you look at the ingredients list. Again, another reason why I'd recommend working with a practitioner, but also estrogen always gets a bad rep, but it is really important. You just don't want to take that supplement unless you know for a fact that your estrogen is too elevated. The next supplement would be Vitex. So Vitex is an herb that has grown in popularity because it's been shown to help prolactin levels, reducing them, and increasing your progesterone levels. Wonderful, right? What happens though if you don't need this herb? Honestly, this one's gonna have a lot less side effects than like the DIM or the DHEA. Again, if your body didn't need it, like why are we taking something that we don't need, right? There can be another supplement that you're taking that's gonna help you a lot more. And instead of wasting your money on something that you didn't need, we could focus on something that's actually going to increase fertility. So Vitex is not as dangerous or doesn't cause as many complications as the two that I listed before. However, it's one that I feel like everyone just tends to take just because. And again, it's nice to get that lab work to solidify the actual reasoning behind wanting to take Vitex. A lot of people take this one in either a tincture or a capsule form. I also believe that different forms work better for different supplements. So that's something that you would also learn by working with a practitioner. Another supplement that I would recommend holding off on until you got labs done is iron. So one, most prenatals do have additional iron in them. Yes, most people are low in iron or ferritin, which is the storage form of iron. However, some people do have elevated iron or ferritin, and that is something that we want to monitor, because if we have too much iron, that can actually build up in the liver, causing the liver to be taxed and slowing down our detoxification process. So iron is one of those that, again, probably not actually as harmful as like a DHEA or a DIM. However, we do just want to make sure that we're monitoring and that we're not giving our body something that we already have enough of or have too much of, because that can cause a problem down the line as well. And last but not least, I'm sure I could probably make a part 2 of this eventually, but another supplement is maca. One, honestly, I don't see maca make that big of a change when it comes to fertility. Some people really love it. It's not one of those supplements to me that I see do much. However, if you do get the wrong form and it does happen to really make a big difference in your body, it can increase androgens like testosterone, which again is causing a hormonal imbalance that wasn't even there before. There are certain forms of maca that don't really do that, and you can find those. With that being said, I always, again, just recommend getting that lab work done first, because then you're not gonna run into this problem anyway. I'm also one of those docs that actually hasn't seen a ton of changes with maca. Some people do. I don't know what it is. I just haven't. So it's also one of those where I'm like, I just don't want you to waste your money on it, especially if you don't actually need it and it's not going to do much for you. Ultimately, I'm sure you're catching onto the theme of let's get labs done first before we start taking a lot of supplements. At the end of the day, supplements can be super valuable, but you have to be very strategic about it. Otherwise, you're just wasting money and you might be making things worse rather than better. So it's really important to find someone that knows what they're doing that can help you on this journey. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We come out with a new video every single Friday, and please give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new today. Don't hesitate to reach out in the comments, and have a beautiful rest of your day.